Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Athlete's Mind. So this one's a bit different. We're doing an online interview, which we haven't done before. But I'm looking forward to this one. It is another basketball episode, which you guys have been requesting a lot. I'm not going to drag this on for too long, but just before we get into the video, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who supported this year. It actually ended up being one of the most enjoyable years I've ever had. I got to meet some amazing people, amazing athletes. Thank you everyone who came on. And also just a shout out to everyone who worked on the Athlete's Mind alongside with me behind the scenes. It really does mean a lot. You know who you are. You guys would be surprised there actually are a lot of people that help out behind the scenes and stuff. So Merry Christmas to all of you. I'll see you guys in 2023. Let's get into the episode.
I just flip the switch.
Hey, my way do.
If you want it, you got it. You know how I'm rocking. They never could stop it. It's stuffed in my pocket. I go up for the store and they never could block it. After the show, I count up in the miles and tears fall from the lives that's fight. 100 bands through the time of the night. When you left, I ain't wanna live life. Now I'm happy on the in and out side. Can you make it better? Chop out like yourself.
Welcome back everyone to The Athlete's Mind. Today we're joined by Luke Fennell. Luke, how are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. First online interview and looking forward to this one. So, we'll get straight into it. So, obviously, you are a basketballer. The first question we ask all of our athletes is, how did you get into the sport? Were you influenced by your parents or your dad? Did he play? Just how did you really get into basketball?
Yeah, so I had an older brother who played. He made a couple of the state teams when he was younger, so I really got to, I went to Adelaide, watched him play for Victoria and all that stuff. So he was really good. And then one time I got to fill in for one of his domestic teams. And ever since then, I was probably around 6 when I played my first game. And ever since then, I've just been playing all the time. So
yeah, that's really good. So how many teams have you played for? I'm sure that would be quite a long list.
It'd be around, for domestic, it'd be around 4 or 6 just from social clubs and stuff. But for rep, I've only played for 2, Dandenong and Knox. So.
Okay. Yeah. And were there any junior memorable moments, buzzer beaters or at grand finals, anything that stands out to you?
The club championships in 2019 with Dandenong in under 14s.
Yep.
That whole week was really good. And I haven't really won many grand finals, so that Nationals grand final that I just won with my school. That one is probably going to stick with me the longest. So. And
did you just graduate or
No. So I finished year 10, but obviously I'm moving school, so.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's a very good memory winning that for your school. Who would you say has been your biggest influence when it comes to basketball?
Not the playing side, but probably my grandpa. He's just taught me a lot, just how to deal with negative stuff and push through, not giving up and all that. So he's helped me a lot with that. Yeah. So did he play basketball, or does he help you with the mental side of things more? Yeah, he did play basketball. It wasn't amazing, but he still plays, so he knows his stuff. But
that's good.
He helps me.
Yeah, and what about players in the NBA or NBL? Anyone that you model your game after?
I don't necessarily model my game after anybody in particular, but I think if I had to choose someone, it'd be Paul George. Oh yeah, kind of. Just composure and just getting to my spots, really. Yeah, nice. Are there any players on a more grounded level, so whether that's teammates or, older players that you've played with that, you sort of look up to for any of your club teams or even school? Maybe, I reckon most of the under-18 state team that I was a part of this year, just being the bottom age kid, the young one, they really helped me and taught me a lot, just how to deal with different types of pressure and guard my yard. So yeah, and you would have been one of the younger players, yeah? Yeah, so I was the only bottom major on the team, so. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think looking long term, you'll develop well because, being young and looking up to those older players, that's actually really good to have and a bit of an advantage.
So yeah,
100%. Yeah.
And I've seen on Baseline Hoops that, you know, they've been calling you the best guard in Australia. Can this social media attention sometimes get to your head?
Not really. Like, I appreciate all the love that I get from all those people, like, calling me best guy in Australia. Like, that, like, it's pretty cool. But most of the comments that get said on the page and all that, like, I see them, but I don't really pay much attention to them. Like, I just kind of, like, I look at them and just blow it over. So I try not to let it get to me.
Yeah, because, sometimes it can get to you, especially, like, when you're playing at a high level and social media, like, you know, Baseline Hoops, pretty big account saying all this, can be a bit of attention in it. So, you're also, you know, I've been reading the MBA Academy bound after accepting a scholarship. I'm sort of curious, who sort of approached you about this?
So I was at the, we had a Victorian NPP camp, probably a couple months back.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was coming back from injury, so I only played on the first day, and then on the second day, Ash Arnott came up to me and he's like, "Oh, like, just would you be interested?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like that's what I'm like." Yeah. So, and then a couple weeks after that, I got a call and he's like, "We want you to come up." So, and then on the spot there, I was like, "Yeah, I'm in." So.
Yeah, geez. And have you ever, like, seen yourself reaching this point? Like, you know, accepting an offer that big?
Well, looking a couple of years back, younger me would definitely not have thought this, no.
Yeah.
But I think I really started to realise a couple of months ago that, like, it could be something, like, reality. So that's when I started pushing for it.
Yeah, well, that's really good to hear. And, you know, Australian basketballers, there's a lot that have sort of been in your position and gone to the NBA or, you know, NBL. In particular, I want to speak about Josh Giddey. What are your thoughts on him as a player?
Just like a mate. Like, my brother played against him, right? So,
oh, geez, yeah.
So I watched him growing up, like, when he was in the Melbourne Tigers and all that, with all that. So it's just been, like, really cool to, like, especially for me, see him at a young age, not be the best on his team, and then really sparking out in under 18s, under 20s, and doing what he's doing now. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best passes in the NBA. So it's really good.
Does that motivate you to, like, push yourself harder, like seeing him and where he started and where he is now?
Definitely. Like, it definitely gives me a sense of hope that, like, I can get to where I want to be, for sure. So
yeah. And going on to more basketball that you've played for college, which is Berwick. So you played there. What was the system like over there, and has it helped you sort of develop your game?
Yeah, so the system there, the coaches kind of let us just play. Okay. They let us, like, coach ourselves, and, like, we had a really talented group, so they let us just run, and we were just running gun all game. So, but it really helped me develop better leadership, because, like, just to, you know, bring the boys in, and, like, at timeouts, like, the coach would not say anything, and we'd just be by ourselves and just talk.
Right,
so it was really good, really free, and helped with my leadership. So
there's a bit of freedom there, it seems, because I know over here in Perth, it's obviously a bit different than over where you are, but we have like a school basketball system that goes on, but a lot of the boys, because, like, it's really a good experience for them, because, you know, you're playing with your mates from school, which I think is, like, you know, that's pretty cool. But then, you know, to develop their game, it's more outside of school, like club sort of thing. But it's always good to play for your school. And what has the experience been like for the States? I know you mentioned it earlier.
So I had my first state experience this year after obviously COVID and being cut, etc. So it was really, like, a lot different. It was really, like, it was a big thing for me. It helped me deal with a lot of adversity. Like, obviously, in the first game against Queensland South, I only played a minute and 20 seconds or something. Yeah. And then just learning to deal with that, come back every game, and end up playing, like, 25 in the grand final. So it's taught me a lot just to focus on myself and not really worry about what everyone else is doing, and just do me. So yeah,
that's really good. And you know, how do you deal with pressure of the game? I know before you mentioned, like, being cut and stuff. Like, do you ever have, like, pressure where you have to keep your spot or perform well, and how do you sort of get through that?
like mid-game, if I'm not performing well or like I can't just get things right, it's weird, I'll do a thing where I'll like cover my ears, like so I can't hear anything, and I'll just like think to myself so I can only hear my own thoughts, and it's like, it's a good thing where I can just reset my whole brain and just like focus on me again. So that's probably just the one thing. Yeah,
that's really good, because like I think you sort of block out the noise a bit. That's actually a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, it's really good.
And do you have any like hobbies on the side where you take your mind off basketball? Because like, you know, having a balance in life is pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm really lucky to have a great group of friends and a great balance like with my basketball and my social life. So but it's not really like as such parties. I don't really go out to parties. It's like just catching up, like going to the beach. Going to the beach is a big one. And then going to kick the footy with my mates just to like give me something else to do. So that's really good.
So your group of friends, do they like play high levels of sport as well, or what's that sort of look like?
Most of them do, yeah, most of them. So we're all like from the same area and we all do the same thing. So it's good. Like they say steel sharpens steel. So like we kind of all get around each other. Yeah, that's good, because I think, you know, who you surround yourself with is very important, because if you have a good group of friends that understand you achieving the same goal, it's like you're bound for success. So exactly. Yeah.
And what goes through your mind, like, you know, when you're playing in the game and there's a defender on you, you have the ball, when you blast out moves, do you sort of look at their body language when you're about to do a move, or is anything you do?
Throughout the game, like, I'll look at their body language and like see what they're like as a person, but as soon as I catch the ball, like I'll look at their feet and see if I can attack like a high foot or just blow by them. Yeah. But after that, it's kind of like my body just does it itself. Like I don't really think about it really. So whatever move comes out just happens, and most of the time it's the right one, which is really good. Yeah, it's a bit of like muscle memory, because from the training, you just sort of know what to do. So that's good. Yeah, exactly right. And something that we also ask a lot about athletes, and we get a lot of different answers on this one, but before you go into a game, what does like your routine usually look like? Like, do you have any pre-game beats, like meditation, anything like that? Yeah, so our games are on Friday nights, so most of the time I get home from school, have something to eat, and then I nap for 45 minutes. Oh, yeah. And then obviously shower, tape, all that, and I normally get to the game like an hour before. So that's when I have a massage gun and I massage my calves, my quads, and stretch and all that. And then before every game, I listen to the same Drake song every single time. Oh, which one is that? Yeah. You know, it's Yeba's Heartbreak. Oh, yeah. That's actually a good one. Yeah. It helps me relax a lot. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it just helps me get in the zone. So that's really good. Yeah, I think it's good to have a routine, because I know I've interviewed some athletes actually that what they do, they actually have like a journal and they write before the game and after the game, which is seems to be a pretty popular one as well. But I think with you, you mentioned the 45-minute nap. I haven't heard that one before, but that'd be a bit of like a power nap. So I think that'd be pretty good actually. So it's really good. Yeah, especially coming home after school. So yeah, exactly. And what does a usual week look like for you training wise? Like, you know, how often a week do you train? Is there any extra parts like weightlifting or anything like that? Yeah, so we're on break right now, so we don't have anything on. So right now it's Monday morning, Wednesday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning lift. Yep. And then whenever like Mondays and like all those days after the lift, I would normally just get in my garage and do a bit of ball handling, like just to keep a feel for the ball and just like you know, mess around with it. And then Tuesdays, me and some of my mates go down to Dandenong Stadium and we just like get a lot of shots up. So we have that going for us, which is really good. And how far do you want to go with basketball? Do you have like an end goal in your mind? I know it's sometimes hard, like end goal, but maybe even over the next year or two, like anything in mind? Over the next year or two, I just want to obviously go to the Global Academy and just play. And then hopefully when I'm done with that, like I want to go to the MBA and do all that. But the end goal is to be an Olympian for the Boomers. That's nice. If I can stand on the podium with a medal as a Boomer, like that will be a dream come true. So
Yeah, I think we haven't released this episode yet, but we recently interviewed Damien Martin, an NBL like champion for Wildcats, and he mentioned his Boomers experience, and he said that, you know, that was, out of all the basketball he's played, that was the most memorable, because like representing your country, so it'd be amazing, I'm sure. And now you are young as well, but have you had like any bad injuries like in your career so far?
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, like being 16, like you wouldn't expect it, but so February last year, 2021, I fractured my tibia.
Oh, jeez, okay.
So yeah, went to the hospital. They said it'll be about 6 to 8 months recovery. Which only turns out being 2.5 after surgery and all that. So that was really lucky, and I was blessed with that. And then early February again this year, so exactly a year after, I tore 3 ligaments in my ankle.
Oh, jeez.
And when I got that news, 20 minutes after I got that news, I got an invite to the Australian camp, which was in a week. So I had to rehab all that in a week, and it was painful, but I got through it somehow. So
yeah, nice. Because ligaments are because when I used to play basketball, that was the main injury I did. I did it a few times, but yeah, it's a killer, that one. So
bad.
And have you like sort of recovered fully from that, or is there still a bit of pain there?
I like after the week I was fully fine, which was really like, I don't know how. Like I've never seen anything like it before, and some of my mates are still walking around like 10 weeks after they've done their ankle and not being able to play. So I feel like I got really lucky and really blessed with that. So
do you play with like ankle braces on?
I tape.
Tape, okay, yeah, nice, yeah. So what advice would you give young ballers like your age or even younger trying to get to a high level?
That's tough. Maybe like just to focus on yourself, really. Like no one else's opinions actually matter that much to you. Like if you just let your shoes do the talking, eventually it would all come together. So you just gotta, like, everyone's path's different. Like people take longer to see improvements. People are bigger, people are shorter. Exactly. And you just gotta be patient with yourself and trust the process.
100%. Now, interesting question here, but in your opinion, who's the GOAT in the NBA?
Well, it's got to be LeBron. It has to be.
Okay. Yeah. Every time I ask someone that, a lot of people have said LeBron. I will always stick with MJ. Only because of like the influence I think he had on the game. But I think performance and stats wise, like LeBron's definitely like he's just a different beast, man. But
he's crazy. It's unreal.
And the fact he's still performing at his age, like it's pretty impressive.
Before this, I checked the stats from the game, and you're like 35 and 7. I'm just like, what?
It's crazy. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think you're like the 5th person to say LeBron, and I've asked that question. So no one said MJ yet, but one day. And just before we go, a question we ask all our athletes when we interview them: if you could be any athlete in the world, who would it be and why? And it doesn't have to be basketball, and it can also be past or present.
Oh yeah. I think right now, probably Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, he's up and coming. Like, I've been hearing that he's probably going to be one of the greatest of all time. So I need to check him out a little bit. He seems like he's got it sorted out. So
money's pretty good as well for the.
That's exactly right. He's definitely set for life right now. So. Probably him. Yeah,
that's a different one. Yeah, we get a lot of different answers. We get golfers, tennis players, but Mbappe, that's a good answer. So nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke, for coming on. This is our first online interview. We really appreciate it. I wish you the best for the rest of your future. Because you got a lot of talent, man. So keep working hard. We'll be keeping an eye on you. So just before we go, everyone. So this will be on Spotify, Apple Music, and maybe a YouTube version will be on as well. Go and follow the Instagram. Go and follow Luke as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode of The Athlete's Mind. Thank you.